Tekkit Classic is a Minecraft mod pack that adds machines, industrialization, and automation. I started as normal by mining trees and making tools. Luckily, I spawned right next to some rubber trees, so I could get a head start on industrialization by gathering some sticky resin. I then set out to survey the local area to locate resources. Turns out right next to spawn there was a ravine. I would definitely have to come back here to mine ores later. As I explored the terrain, I broke grass tufts using my sickle, hoping for wheat seeds to start a farm, as food was now becoming pretty scarce. Fortunately, I stumbled upon some local fauna that helped me with my food issue. How nice of them. With nutrition under control, I started to explore some of the nearby caves, obtaining iron and coal, two resources that would be extremely valuable in my upcoming industrialization. I started smelting the iron. As the faster I got iron tools, the faster I could start mining higher level ores and progressing. As I continued mining, I found copper, a new ore essential for building machines, and emeralds, which could be used to make tools that are slightly better than iron. I headed out of the cave, only to find it was still nighttime, so I headed back in the cave and started smelting all the ores I had gathered while waiting for the sun to rise. While I was waiting for the ores to smelt, a creeper walked in and blew up my furnaces. Rude! But it was soon finally becoming daytime, so I picked up the furnace and once again headed out to explore. I ended up coming to a small beach area that would be perfect for building my house, so I started cutting down trees and clearing the area to prepare for building. I also started a small farm, so I would hopefully have a renewable source of food. Next, I started to work on the house by building a simple frame, and then next to the house planted some rubber trees to help with the rubber needed for wires and machines. As the day was coming to a close, I organized my items into a chest, placed around some torches, and smelted the rest of my ores. While I was hanging out inside my house, a skeleton started attacking! I took it out, but that was a little too close for comfort. I knew I'd have to get a bed to survive the night. After finding a sheep and shearing it for 3 wool, I made a bed and fell asleep. When I woke up, I quickly got to work, digging a mine that would later serve as my main source of ores. My iron pickaxe grew low on durability. I used the emeralds I had obtained earlier to make a shiny new green one. But before I went back to mining, I had to continue building my house, so I started on the roof. But since spruce stairs apparently weren't invented yet, I had to get some oak trees to make it actually match. Ah, that's better. With the roof completed, I started to fill in the walls, so no monsters could come attacking at night again. Next, I built a second floor. I would need the extra space for all the machines I would be making. Not too shabby. Well, it's actually pretty shabby, but it'll get the job done. To get started with machines, I would need resources, so I decided I'd look for some in the nearby ravine. There were lots of ores, including plenty of iron, copper, and coal. Exactly what I needed to start setting up some machines. Well, actually not quite. I still needed some tin and some redstone. So I continued digging into the mine, and found some tin. After a little more digging, I came upon an abandoned mine shaft. I found all sorts of resources in there, including redstone and diamonds. Using my newly acquired diamonds, I made a diamond pickaxe and mined lots of more ores. With my inventory full, I headed back to base, organized my items into various chests, then headed back down into the mine to collect the leftover resources I had left behind. And once again, I headed back out on the mine, and decided to finally start building some machines. First up was the macerator, which required some refined iron and flint. The electrical circuit used to power it required insulated copper cables. This is what all the rubber was for. As the iron was smelting, I looked into how to make a generator to power my machines. I first built an iron furnace, then a battery, then put them together to make my first machine, a generator. The generator burns coal to produce electricity, only the electricity currently had nowhere to go. So before I powered it on, I made a bat box to store the power I would be generating. Next, I put together all the required parts, and I had myself a macerator. After hooking it up to the generator, I put in some coal and powered it on. The macerator started grinding up the copper ore I placed in there into dust. Oh, did I forget about the bat box, you ask? No, I just wanted to make a wrench first in case I had to realign it. I always placed these things down the wrong way the first time. While the copper was macerating away, I started work on making an electric furnace. The crafting recipe required parts I had already built before, so it was a piece of cake to put together. Before I placed it down, I got distracted and accidentally placed the copper dust in the furnace. Then I started making a redstone engine so I could start automating the machines upstairs. It was then that I realized my mistake of smelting the copper dust when I needed the dust to make bronze, so I quickly took it out and started macerating some more. Then I finished making the redstone engines, mixed tin and copper to make bronze dust, and started smelting it. Once it was done, I made the wrench, and finally I could place down my bat box with confidence. I placed down the macerator, and seeing it have power was a big relief. Next I set up the pipe infrastructure, which would automatically send ore dust from the macerator into the electric furnace to be smelted, then the ingots automatically sent to a nearby chest. I flicked the levers to power on the redstone engines, and the contraption spun to life. It's working just how I intended! This is so cool! Next I tried to hook up a chest to pump items into the macerator, but quickly noticed a problem. Items were being pumped into the macerator even though it was full, and they were overflowing. To fix this, I employed the use of an advanced insertion pipe, which would insert the ore into the macerator if there was room, or looped back into the chest if it was full. I powered it up, and it worked! Perhaps this wasn't the cleanest solution, but it got the job done. Let me know if you have a better way to solve this. Like, is there a way to only send the items when the macerator is empty? Anyway, the next machine to make was an extractor. It can extract rubber from sticky resin or rubber logs, and would help with my ever-increasing rubber needs. Once again, it was a simple crafting recipe and easy to set up next to my other machines. As space was getting limited, I started working on an expansion for the house. Why did I make it so small? With the expansion finished, I crafted another electric furnace for general smelting and went outside to take a look at my house. Pipes and machinery were sticking out through the roof, and my technological empire had only just begun.